My healthy tip for you is to wash your hands often.
Hi. One tip to stay healthy is to wash your hands with warm water and soap for at least 20 seconds and to make sure you get in between the fingers and underneath the fingernails. Okay, bye.
Remember to try to avoid touching your face.
One thing you can do to help the spread of corona and end it would be social distancing. Just keep your space from people. Don't go out much. If you do, just keep it less than 10 people at a time.
One healthy tip is to stay home and only go outside for essential purposes to stop the spread of the disease.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, people.
Hi, my name is Sean, and a tip to avoid getting coronavirus is to stay inside and practice social distancing.
For anybody who's watching this, just remember it's always important to wash your hands and to make sure that you cover up when you're coughing or sneezing. I mean, not just for coronavirus, that's just good hygiene always, so don't forget that.
Remember to wash your hands and stay 6 feet apart from other people.
My healthy tip to stop the spread of the coronavirus is to make sure that you don't touch your face after going somewhere and you wash your hands a lot.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Mr. Meyer, and this is SGM.
You might be asking yourself, what does SGM mean? Well, it means some good music. You also might be asking, Mr. Meyer, aren't you just ripping off John Krasinski and his SGN, Some Good News? Well, yes, I am. But if I've learned anything from John Krasinski's character, Jim Halpert, in The Office, pranking is a great way to get through the day.
Tonight on SGM, you are going to hear pieces from the students of Lincoln Trail Elementary School and the Mahomet Seymour Junior High bands. Each piece was put together without ever meeting as a full band or the help from a conductor. So it is my pleasure to introduce our very first MC special guest of the evening. You know her from across the hall, 5th graders. This is Mrs. Keeble. Mrs. Keeble?
Greetings, Mahomet Seymour friends. I'm Mrs. Keeble, and I teach music at Lincoln Trail, right across from the band room. And here's what that means. I'm right there when those shiny instruments are sitting in the cases, having never been opened. The energy is crazy. And then, of course, the students find out that they can only practice on their mouthpieces for a while. From there, I hear the squeaks and the squawks until eventually a beautiful tune emerges as we get closer to the first concert in December. It's a great feeling of pride and accomplishment. So it is my honor to introduce the 5th grade band performing a piece entitled Fanfare and Fireworks by Brian Balmages. Enjoy.
Wasn't that incredible? And to think less than a year ago, they had never held their instrument in their hand before. For our next guest MC, please welcome Caitlin Nelson introducing the 6th grade band.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Nelson. I student taught with the Mahomet Seymour Band program last fall and had the opportunity to work with the 6th grade band. I enjoyed working with the 6th grade band because of their energy, their love for making music, and I truly miss working with them. David Holsinger's A Childhood Hymn is a beautiful chorale setting of the well-known song Jesus Loves Me. While this piece is only 43 measures long, it is chock full of opportunities to create tremendously musical moments. This piece requires a very mature ensemble, and this 6th grade band has proven themselves very capable. What's more, they were able to perform this ever-changing tempo piece without a conductor. So without further ado, here's the 6th grade band performing David Holsinger's A Childhood Hymn.
Wow, what a beautiful and powerful piece. Before we move on to the next group, I'd like to talk a little bit about the ILMEA District Band.
The ILMEA District Band is an honors band that students entering 7th and 8th grade have the opportunity to audition for. Auditions are held in October, and if you make the band, then you get to perform alongside some of the best junior high musicians in the state. It is really a fantastic opportunity that I highly recommend. If you're interested, send me an email and I can give you some more information.
To introduce our 7th grade band, you know him very well. Please welcome Mr. Stevens.
Hello everybody, it's Mr. Stevens. Long time no see. Hope everyone's doing well. This next piece is inspired by events surrounding the railway between Atlanta and Chattanooga during the Civil War. Robert W. Smith, the composer, stages the train chase where listeners become engulfed in vivid sounds and can almost smell the smoke from the train. All aboard! Here's the 7th grade band playing the Great Locomotive Chase.
Interesting fact about that piece, I played it back when I was in 8th grade, and I had so much fun playing it. I hope the 7th graders did too. Before we move on to the next group, I'd like to talk about our ongoing fundraiser, Scrip.
Free money! Now that I've got your attention, let's talk about Scrip. Scrip is the ongoing fundraiser that we use for the music department here at Mahomet Seymour. The way it works is this. You purchase gift cards, and a percentage of that purchase comes back to the music boosters as a rebate. Now, the music boosters have agreed to keep only a small percentage of that rebate, returning the rest of the rebate to you into your pockets. There have been several families who have used these rebates to help pay for things like the large trip we take every 4 years for the marching band. I do highly recommend it, and if you would like to know more about it, please visit the website msmusicboosters.org. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next guest MC for the evening. He is the director of the Marching Illini, Professor Barry Hauser.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer, and hello, everyone. My name is Barry Hauser, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as the Associate Director of Bands and the Director of the Marching Illini at the University of Illinois. I am so excited to be joining you today. Before I introduce the next piece in this awesome Some Good Music virtual concert, I want to tell you how proud I am of each and every one of you for pushing through these challenging times, staying resilient with not knowing what each day, week, or month may bring, and for continuing to make music. Music has the unique ability to elevate the human spirit. You all are doing that for so many today and so many well into the future. Kudos to Mr. Meyer for his vision and leadership in guiding you through this. And now, it is my pleasure to introduce this next piece, Come Thou Font of Every Blessing by Randall Standridge. Randall Standridge chose this reverent yet somewhat sad-sounding hymn to arrange for band in honor of the life and influence of his grandmother who passed away in 2012. Standridge states this: "After her death, I found myself unable to write or compose for some time. It was during this time of grief I began writing the setting of my favorite hymn, Come Thou Font of Every Blessing. This piece took me over 1 year to compose, a year I spent dealing with my grief and intensely studying the pieces that I feel represent the very best hymn song settings in the concert band repertoire. I have never labored so long on a piece of music, but I felt this one had to be as close to perfect as I could manage. I find the words and meaning behind this beautiful hymn to be especially meaningful. It is from them, our parents, and all our forebears, from which the blessings of our lives flow. Moving from moments of quiet beauty through hugely magnificent waves of sound, this powerful arrangement is a great example of the expressiveness and power that can be achieved by a fine concert band work. The final statement of the hymn tune melody by a solo clarinet wraps up this memorable hymn tune arrangement in a reverent and quiet way. And now, next on the SGM program, here is Come Thou Font of Every Blessing. Hope you enjoy.
Thank you, 8th graders, for that incredibly beautiful piece. I'd like to thank all of my students for putting together this concert. I know that it can be extremely difficult to put together music without ever having a chance to rehearse together. So for you to push through this trying time with positivity and a great attitude, it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to see. So thank you to all of my students. Parents, thank you for all of your support and encouraging your kids to put together this concert. As you saw, it was a wonderful, wonderful night of some good music.
Before we close tonight's virtual concert with our grand finale, I have the opportunity each year to award one student from our jazz band the Woody Herman Jazz Award. So, for his contributions to our jazz band and the Mahomet Seymour community as a whole, it is my honor to introduce the 2020 recipient of the Woody Herman Jazz Award, Isaac Hansen. Congratulations, Isaac. For our grand finale, we will be featuring the 6th grade, the 7th grade, and the 8th grade bands in a upbeat march entitled The Grand Gallop. So from all of us here at SGM, thank you so much for joining us in our virtual concert tonight. Have a wonderful evening.